Gun gathering. Supporters rally at the state capitol over what they say is a threat to the Second Amendment.
Digital diet. BYU students take a break from electronic technology. Could you do it too?
And Scripture Streamline. The LDS Church releases an updated version of their standard works. I'm Karen Sullivan.
And I'm Carson McKinley. It's Monday, March 4th, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
Gun rights activists are coming out in full force, demanding their Second Amendment rights. 11 News reporter Roger Sanchez caught up with them at a major rally in Salt Lake, and he's live in our newsroom. Roger, what prompted this gun rally?
Well, what prompted the gun rally is that many gun enthusiasts feel threatened by the Obama administration and also those who promote gun control. The rally was a chance for them to come together and simply try to get the attention of their local politicians. While gun control supporters call for more limits and bans on assault weapons, gun rights activists marched to the state capitol in support of the rights to bear arms, with rifles and handguns on full display.
I don't want to be controlled. I have rights. The Constitution gives me those rights. The Bill of Rights spells them out, and that's what my kids have on their shirts today. It says, I love America, I love the freedom of speech, I love the freedom of religion, and I love the right to bear arms.
A bill that would allow gun owners to carry a weapon without a concealed carry permit has made it to the Senate, where it could meet some resistance. Utah Governor Gary Herbert spoke against the bill, saying Utah doesn't need changes to any of its existing gun laws. The rally gave activists a chance to speak their mind and also inform their fellow Americans of their constitutional rights.
I would like people to actually download the Bill of Rights and read it.
Among those in attendance were UN rights activist Bill Clayton, Republican Representative Ken Ivory, and former Utah congressional candidate and Saratoga Springs Mayor Mia Love.
Freedom, once lost, is the most difficult thing to gain. We've forgotten that what made this country great was freedom.
She told those in attendance to continue to fight for their constitutional rights. Advocates in the rally expressed their opinion that gun ownership is a crucial right that they want to preserve. With the concealed carry law, you will be able to carry your weapon simply under your suit coat or jacket without any permit. But if you were to do that now, you'll be looking at some jail time. In the newsroom, Roger Sanchez, 11 News.
Roger, what will happen if this bill doesn't pass?
If it doesn't pass, you'll be looking at some angry gun owners. While I was at the rally, many were trying to recruit others and so they could promote it to get people to join them on this fight they call gun control.
Okay, thanks, Roger.
A new bill before the legislature would require teachers who have guns in their classroom to notify their principal. Democratic Representative Carol Spackman-Moss says the bill makes a way for parents to know if their kids' teachers are armed in class. She says it would also allow parents the option to move their kids to an unarmed classroom. Utah businesses are starting to feel the effects of the $85 billion sequester. Bryce Canyon and other national parks face major budget drops. Arches and Canyonlands National Parks tried to soften their $500,000 cuts by not filling open positions. It's not just the national parks facing cuts. Anticipated reductions at Hill Air Force Base could lead to some employees to take on second jobs.
A huge explosion in eastern Utah destroyed one building and damaged 9 others. It happened at Adler Hot Oil Services in Jensen, and people heard it more than 20 miles away. Authorities evacuated people within a half-mile radius of the explosion until firefighters were able to put out the flames. Investigators determined that a leaky valve on a propane tank was to blame. And Apple better make some room because Microsoft is coming to City Creek. The company announced they will open their retail store on April 11th. Microsoft will also give community organizers access to the store's theater space for events. The grand opening will include a musical performance from the band Train on April 13th. The LDS Church released the first update of their scriptures in more than 30 years. The update took more than 8 years to complete and is only for the English language. It includes revisions to photos, maps, and chapter headings. The church also changed some words to their modern spellings. The new edition is available now in digital formats and will be available in print come August.
When 11 News at noon returns, Midst musings, Governor Romney speaks out for the first time since the election. We'll tell you what he has to say about the nation's budget cuts.
And Survivor's story. A woman who lived through Columbine shares her experiences with the children of Sandy Hook. Stay with us.
Most members of the LDS faith participate in a monthly fast by abstaining from food and drink for 24 hours. But dozens of students on BYU campus are taking that concept one step further with a 3-day electronic media fast. 11 News reporter John Hansen is live on BYU campus. John, how do they fast from the media?
Carson, it's all a part of a mass communications class here at BYU where students go on a 3-day technical vacation where they literally cut themselves off from the digital world. Fasting is not a new concept to BYU students, but unlike a traditional fast, Comms 101 student Ren Ludlow and his classmates are giving up their media.
We were asked to abstain from all communication devices for a period of 3 days.
That means no cell phone, no computers, no internet, and pretty much no use of any other electronic device. Something easier to talk about than to do.
You're used to having that lump in your pocket. So for me, I always check for my car keys, my phone, and my wallet. Well, my phone's missing, so it's kind of a weird thing.
But those fasting from media aren't the only ones feeling the impact of the fast. Friends, family, and even fiancés are digitally cut off from their loved ones.
Ren is my fiance, and he's the one doing the media fast. So I don't know, I kind of am the bystander that gets affected by it, I guess, because just, I guess, communication and such like that. It doesn't have a phone.
Despite not being able to call or text each other, you won't hear Emily complaining because less time on his phone and computer means more time for her.
It was kind of fun today, just like, I was making food or something, and usually he'll like read emails or do homework, but it's kind of like, oh, what are you making? Like, can I come help? So it was kind of nice.
Now, if you're looking to take a jump on the bandwagon and go on a media fast yourself, there's a couple of things you might want to remember. Is one, plan ahead, and two, make sure that your family knows they won't be able to get a hold of you. That way they don't think something happened to you. Live on BYU campus, John Hansen, 11 News.
John, I don't think I could do that, could you?
I've actually done this. I took this class, and it's not as easy as you think. I actually had to go and buy a watch because I had no way to tell time without my phone.
Wow, thanks, John. Mitt Romney spoke out yesterday in his first public criticism of the president since the election. He and his wife appeared on Fox News Sunday. The debate over budget cuts in D.C. has a former presidential candidate wishing he was there to act in what he says would be the nation's best interest. Romney says politicians are squandering an opportunity to make America more globally competitive.
Look at the sequester and also the expiration of the Bush tax cuts as an almost once-in-generational opportunity for America to solve its fiscal problems.
Authorities in Florida stopped the search for a man buried in a sinkhole. President Obama nominates 3 new cabinet heads, and doctors cure a Mississippi baby born with HIV. Here's your look at news from across the nation. Authorities stopped the search for a Florida man missing after a sinkhole swallowed his home. 37-year-old Jeffrey Bush was the only one unable to escape when the sinkhole opened on Thursday. Demolition crews continue to tear down the home to stop it from collapsing and find a way to fill the hole. Authorities say they're helping the family find a new place to live. President Obama is calling for 3 new advisors to his second-term cabinet. Ernest Moniz would lead the Energy Department, Gina McCarthy the Environmental Protection Agency, and Sylvia Burwell the Budget Office. The nominations come despite the debate in D.C. over the nation's budget cuts. The Senate still needs to confirm the 3 nominees. And a Mississippi toddler is the first child to be functionally cured of HIV. Johns Hopkins researchers say the girl was born to an HIV-positive mother. A research pediatrician gave the girl high doses of antiviral drugs just hours after her birth. Researchers say this early dosage was the key to the cure and may help other infected babies. And that's your look at news from across the nation. Carson?
An American Fork woman knows firsthand what survivors of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting are going through. She lived it 14 years ago at Columbine High School. 11 News reporter Allie Monson shows us what she is doing to show these kids they're not alone.
It gets better. That's the message Amber Wright hopes to share with children from Sandy Hook Elementary School with her new picture book. she still remembers the horror she felt trapped in a classroom as 2 seniors shot her classmates at Columbine High.
It took me 4 years to really feel like I could handle myself of looking for the bad guy.
But she says it doesn't stay that way forever. And she wants to show these kids that there is still good in the world. So she teamed up with another American Fork mom to get this book put together.
You know, a lot of times I think with these kind of things, everybody is giving them a lot of attention and support, and as that dwindles, I think it's nice to be able to have something tangible that they can hold on to.
But getting enough money to actually get this book published has taken some time. That's why these women have begun fundraising and holding silent auctions like this one.
And I'm so grateful for all the people and businesses that donated, that just made this possible to get these books over there.
They plan to donate 1 book to every student at Sandy Hook so that the children from this millennium's tragic shooting can learn from those who survived the last millennium's shooting. In American Fork, Allie Monson, 11 News.
As of right now, Wright has finished the text of the storybook and is working on its organization details before sending it off to get published.
And Brenna, it is so sunny outside.
Finally, it was too cloudy yesterday.
You know what, it really is sunny, but it's actually pretty cold right now. We're just barely above freezing. I'll let you know what temperatures to expect as the week goes on when 11 weather. Well, currently it is just above freezing and a little bit windy here in Provo, but don't get used to that. The temperatures will get up just a little bit as the day goes on. We will warm up today. It's breezy down by the airport, 16 miles per hour. Winds are calmer inside the city, but you can still feel the chill if you're facing north. And I don't know if you know this, but we check out the almanac every single day and take a look at it for today. We're starting to get closer and closer to the average Utah temperatures this month. We've been pretty clearly below average all year. It's been a frosty winter with plenty of snow, but today we're just 7 degrees below normal. That's pretty nice. And just a fun fact, check out where we were in 1987, 69 degrees. Must have been a beautiful day back in the 80s. But tonight in the Wasatch Front, we'll lose the sun at 6:23 and the temperature will drop to below freezing. The clouds should keep their distance, opening up what could be a nice, clear, starry night. Watch out for that breeze, though. We'll see the wind chill jump up as the temperature drops, but the wind should die down to about 6 or 7 miles per hour, so not much to worry about. Highs around the state, we should hit the low 40s across the northern part of the state today. Salt Lake, Provo, Nephi, and Price are all tied at 43 degrees. Wendover and Vernal, you're still in the 30s. Cedar City's at 44, and St. George's high is 66. It's only uphill from there for St. George, though. Take a look at Wednesday. That is going to be the best day of the week in southern Utah. 74 degrees, sunny with a light breeze. I can just taste the barbecues happening that day. Southern Utah curves out the week with a few more clouds and just a little rain from a storm system moving past the northern part of the state. The Wasatch Front should actually see that storm system in full force as it moves to the northern half of the state. Northern Utah, look at that sunshine. Today's nice, tomorrow's nice. We sure will see that storm system making its debut Wednesday or Wednesday evening and moving on through the weekend. I'll tell you the good news, though. The good news is we're warm enough to see rain and not slushy snow Wednesday and Thursday, but the bad news is we could drop low enough to maybe see some sleet on Friday. We'll keep you updated on that storm as we track it. But for right now, it's sunny in Provo, it's dry, it's a little chilly, but you know what? This is going to be a great week to go enjoy the outdoors because it's been a few months since we were able to do that. Have you guys been out hiking or running yet?
Not recently,
Not
no.
this year, not since last summer.
Well, I recommend it. I definitely do.
All right, thanks, Brenna. Well, it's finally March, and that's a pretty big month for basketball.
Definitely. Danny, how's our team looking?
You know, we're looking pretty good. You know, I love March because it starts to warm up and basketball starts to really heat up. Next on sports, big cat battle. The Cougars and the Lions met in Los Angeles for a cat fight to close out the regular season. And buzzer beater, the most epic shot you'll ever see, decided the winner of a New York high school basketball championship. We'll show you the unbelievable finish. Sports is next. Stay tuned. The BYU men's basketball team spent the weekend vacationing in Los Angeles, and they might have played a little basketball too. Loyola Marymount lost 13 games straight leading up to Saturday's matchup, but don't let that fool you. This game was no walk on the beach for the Cougars. Brandon Davies was the first to strike with a quick 2 points from under the basket. But the Lions didn't let that last long, taking the lead and letting the Cougars play catch-up for most of the first half. Brock Zylstra's jumper is what tied it up with 8 minutes to go in the first, and our guys were able to hold on to that lead going into the second half. Haas hit a few nice threes. He had 24 points on the game, and Nate Austin got some air. With about 9 minutes to go in the game, BYU started to pull away, but LMU battled to the finish. Lucky for us, they never got closer than 3 points, and the Cougars came up victorious, winning 73-70. The men's basketball team finished their season at 21 wins and 10 losses overall, 10-6 in conference play, earning a 3 seed to this year's West Coast Conference Tournament. Gonzaga got the 1 seed and St. Mary's is 2 as we head into Las Vegas. The Cougars earned byes until Friday, where they first take the floor in the quarterfinals against either San Diego or Pepperdine. The quarterfinal winner will go on to play St. Mary's on Saturday in the semis. The women will also play their first game Friday after grabbing the 4th seed in the tourney. They open up in the quarterfinals against USF, Pepperdine, or LMU, all depending on what happens in the first 2 rounds of play. And then it's on to the semis against Gonzaga if they can clinch that win. The women won the conference tournament last year and got the bid to the big dance, so cross your fingers for a repeat. BYU head football coach Bronco Mendenhall announced that he is working on a new deal that would keep him head honcho for another few years. His current contract ends after this next season, but his work is far from over. He said, quote, "I care a lot about winning. I would love to grow the program into one of the elite programs on a consistent basis. I'm designing and redesigning the program with that in mind. I'm not afraid to take bold stances," end quote. A big congrats to the future of BYU basketball, the Lone Peak Knights, for winning the Utah 5A state championship for the 3rd year in a row. They obliterated Alta 72-39 to get the three-peat, the cherry on top of a pretty incredible year. They have been consistently ranked the best high school team in the country. Not too bad for a couple of young kids from Highland, Utah. 3 members of the team have already committed to the Cougars. Lone Peak their win was pretty exciting, but it was nothing compared to this. New Rochelle and Mount Vernon playing for the New York State title. New Rochelle was down by 2 with 2.9 seconds left when Khalil Edney lobbed up a one-handed 55-foot shot to win the game at the buzzer. Both teams celebrated their win, but the refs ruled that the shot did get off in time, and New Rochelle took home the state title.
Wow, one-handed. That is crazy.
Never seen anything like that.
Oh, it was so incredible. And something else is pretty incredible. The AP polls just came out today. Gonzaga is #1 for the first time in their history, which is, it's really great for the West Coast Conference.
Wow, good for them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Danny.
Yeah.
Still to come on 11 News at noon. Dr. Seuss's birthday. Kids in hats? We'll show you that coming up next.
Teachers in Oregon dressed up to celebrate what would have been children's book author Dr. Seuss's 109th birthday.
Mr. Brown can do it. How about
Children gathered all around, on the desks and on the ground, wearing crazy hairdos, all in praise of those lovely Whos. While their teacher read them books, sharing laughs and silly looks, even though the noise may seem loud, it would have made Dr. Seuss proud to know the joy his stories still give to all who hear his rhymes. Well, I know I still love Dr. Seuss. What are some of your favorite books that he's written?
I remember in elementary reading Red Fish, Blue, One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish.
I would read all of them, but I try to read them as fast as I can and try to get all the tongue twisters. That was my favorite part.
See, with graduation, I graduate from BYU in April, oh, the places you'll go. That's kind of like my theme right now.
Oh, yeah, I got that one as a present for high school graduation, so I'll probably be seeing that again, definitely. And my favorite was Green Eggs and Ham. I think I'll probably be making those for St. Patrick's Day that's coming up.
That's so exciting.
That's awesome.
It'll definitely be festive.
That's 11 News at noon for Monday, March 4th.
You can join us anytime on our website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching. Have a great afternoon.